Hey, what's up, beautiful people? Right now, we are going into the full moon in Libra, baby. On April 7th, this is going to be look, everything right now is profound, of course, but in astrologically speaking, we have a lot of major stuff going on. But I know one thing is for sure right now, especially, is that relationships, our relationship to ourselves, our relationship to our significant others, to our families, to money, everything right now is all about relationships and learning how to shift the paradigm in relationships in regards to everything that's going on in the world, because, it's kind of a big deal. We've all been experiencing these massive shifts and changes, and everybody is incredibly vulnerable. We've had this energy of Chiron being square to the nose now for a couple weeks, and it's leaving that energy now, but there's so many unknowns and so many unanswered questions that are really just creating more questions and no friggin' answers. And this is a new type of stress that many of us have never really experienced before. Now, for me personally, I actually feel very clear and calm during these times because, I've done so much work on myself that I know. And if you're in the same boat with me, we've been indigo children, star seeds, light workers, people that have grown up with tumultuous childhoods and difficult lives, always feeling like, there's something wrong with the world or that we don't fit in properly. It's almost like now the rest of the world is seeing what we've seen our entire lives, right? But we want all the pieces to fit a certain way. There's that deep down desire that we all just want to feel this certain thing. And the fact is that that's not really going to happen. It's never going to look how we want it to look. So there's a certain part of acceptance that comes into this whole process. But especially today for this full moon, we're going to really get a glimpse of, or a sort of a solidification, really, of what we're looking for, what we desire, what we're willing to put up with, I guess you could say, and what we really want. Like, if we've been having dysfunctional relationships, consistently over our lives, repeating this pattern, that pattern is getting blown up in our face right now. That pattern is we are raising our vibration, or we are getting hypersensitized to this feeling and experience where there's some kind of resistance between us and other. And this is going to be especially true for intimate relationships, but really even relationships about money as well, with everything that's going on. Millions of people out of work. So many people don't know what they're going to do with money and how we're going to approach this new economy. Okay. But when we tune in to our heart and we're doing what we're really passionate about and love to do, you'll find that the money is a side effect of what comes when you put yourself out there to the world, to the universe, and you give your gift away to the universe, like what I'm doing with you, right? I'm sharing my intuitive gifts and insights and working with the astrology and coaching and my experiences throughout my life to share with you the things, and this is in a big part therapy for me. So whatever you feel that you resonate within yourself, that is this therapy for you, it's going to be highlighted right now. Okay. Especially with Venus coming into its shadow pretty soon, as next month it's going to go retrograde. Venus in Gemini is all about our relationship to money and to relationships and to, even education, or just the way that we communicate with ourselves, with others and whatnot. Okay. And the moon here, let's go into the chart and see what we have going on. And as you can see here, we have the moon at 18 degrees. That is opposed to the sun at 18 degrees in Aries. All right. So the sun in Aries, this is like looking at our ego, looking at our the way that we bring ourselves out in the world. And our reality is where the moon is. So everything that's out in our reality, especially our relationships, are going to be very heightened. Our senses in response to how we communicate and how we relate to other people. Now, this is also, the moon is square over to Pluto and Jupiter that just came off an exact conjunction. They're still conjunct. They're less than a degree apart. so this is really going to heighten it. And in Capricorn, this is about the structure, the foundation of our lives. All right, the moon being square and heightened right there. And then, of course, with this also being square to the sun, we have this this opposition in two squares. The name of it's eluding me right now, but this energy is really putting a focus on like getting real with ourselves. What do we want and how do we want it? And with the moon sesquiquadrate over to Venus here in Gemini, this is like, this could be some past life stuff coming up about finances. I'm really feeling finances strong here in Gemini, but this is also about communities. All right, like clearly we can't get together with the communities like we used to. So how are we going to connect with people in a new way? Right? How are we going to feel connection in this new way? How are we going to get in the present moment and really, you know, accept and honor the situations that we were all in? And are we going to allow our pride to really take over and keep ourselves trapped in this loop through our pride and our ego? Or are we going to really be honest with ourselves? Like, say, for example, you miss somebody, right? And you really want to connect with them, but, you know, the last couple times it was just weird, or it felt like they were shut down or they didn't want to communicate. You know, if that's the kind of situation, you know, going on, you know, humble yourself and just look, don't, this requires an approach to vulnerability in a very sensitive way. I'm trying to find words to feel what I'm seeing right now. But, you know, I've actually had an experience like this recently in my life. And I'm thinking, wow, would I actually do that? And I tried, you know, twice, and I got nothing. But letting go of that outcome is important as well. So letting go of the outcome and, you know, being vulnerable without expectations. Okay. That's what I was going for. Honor your feelings, get it out in a mature fashion, and let go of whatever expectations. You do your part to put it out to the universe, right? Energetically, releasing it through your throat chakra, releasing any kind of expectation as well. And whatever comes back around to you, you don't know how it's going to react, and you don't know the ripple effect that it's going to cause. And I feel like this is that sesquiquadrate energy with Venus. A certain thing that you say, or a certain way that you say it, or a certain act that you do, you may not get any kind of response, but it could plant a seed, an energetic seed there that may help the other person to question what they're doing, or to make some different decisions that eventually will lead in their own time, in their own way. Divine timing is at play here for sure in everything, in order to step into their own power, their own way, and be able to see things in that way. So, you know, we have to let go of you know, desiring something too much in certain ways can be counterproductive, right? Like if you really want a lot of money and you're just, rah, go, money, you know, usually if you want it too bad, the money's not going to come to you. Just like if you want a significant other to notice you too much, they're going to be like, I'm good. You know, you ever had somebody want you like, you know, more than you want them, and you're kind of like, not really feeling it. It's too easy. Not saying that there's a game, but there's a certain dynamic of an equilibrium of energy there that, you know, you want someone that's going to be on the same level as you, but you don't want to come off too desperate or come off in a certain way. And all these games, these are the games that we play with ourselves when we're in certain states of fear. And of course, I'm tuning into my own experiences right now, but for some reason, I feel like some of you out there are experiencing similar things right now, okay? We are digging deep into the dynamics that create our relationships and unwinding them in a way where we're undoing this big ball of wiring, and we have to switch some wiring around so that we can, you know, stay in our own power, trust ourselves, trust the judgment of, or trust the way that we're processing information. And if it feels out of balance, we have to be honest and true about that, okay? And then have patience. Trust. It's all about trust and divine timing. Trusting whatever comes around and whatever time it's meant to come around is right for us. It's right for you. It's right for me. It's right for all of us, okay? Then we also have the moon, Quincunx over to Neptune here, which at 19 degrees now, like Neptune's getting all kinds of supernatural. So, you know, there's like supernatural or telekinetic communication happening big time everywhere. And that, if you're not like meditating all the time, if you've been living in distraction, this telekinesis can feel very, very trippy and strange and weird. As the collective consciousness vibration raises, where a lot of us are going to start to see these new layers of psychic capabilities coming up, and it can be kind of freaky when these things come out, because you know you might feel like you're going crazy, you're going nuts, and especially if you're around people that don't understand this kind of stuff, you might be afraid they judge you. So all these fears are coming up of all these like new things, which are really gifts that are opening up to us. When they first come up, it's unknown. We don't understand it. So we can be afraid, and we have to learn to embrace this vulnerability and accept this fear. Because really, as the fear comes, all it is a shift in perception, right? We all know right now that we live in scary times, but when we can embrace the unknown, and right now we are being tested on multiple levels to embrace the unknown in many, many ways, so that we can step into this new version of who we're meant to be. And because it's happening on a collective scale, everybody is feeling this, definitely to a certain extent. Okay. Now we have the North Node Quincunx over to Saturn. And Jupiter is going to tap on that a little bit too here pretty soon. But with Saturn, you know, Saturn is sort of like the foundation, like the glue that's holding all these energies together. Because, you know, being in Aquarius, it's still, you know, it's the second ruler of Aquarius. But Saturn rules the third dimensional plane, right? And with this shift in energy here, being Quincunx to the North Node, this is like saying, all right, it's time to get uncomfortable. It's time to, like, this is sort of like, you know, we all just went into a new boot camp that we didn't even know existed. So it's time to man up. It's time to be honest with our feelings, with our emotions. All right, with the North Node being in Cancer, this is like we've shifted a whole paradigm of our emotional being, and it's going to be more free, and it's going to be more cerebral. Okay, so everybody is really in their head right now, and we have to be careful not to be too in our head. And that goes along with, like, you know, the anxiety and depression of thinking about the future and reminiscing about the past, and, you know, solidifying this new center within ourselves emotionally. So these things that are going to be coming up here in the next, you know, 2 weeks, usually a full moon energy lasts, you know, about 2 weeks. This full moon energy is saying that, okay, it's time to be really brutally honest with yourself. Look at the relationships you have, and being honest with yourself about what's toxic and what's good for you. And we need to get rid of all the toxic shit. We need to bring in all the stuff that's raising our frequency or vibration. If we continue to try to hold on to this lower vibration, we're just going to hurt ourselves and end up, you know, slowly kill ourselves, because this new start is raising our frequency to the next level. So you're going to start to see people just getting very sick, or people getting really enlightened and heightened. Okay, so if you're around a lot of people that are getting sick, that are having all these fears and not feeling well because of all the mongering and shit, then you either need to get away from it or learn how to protect yourself and block yourself from it, because that energy is the real virus, if you will. Okay, so then let's see, we have Lilith that is opposed essentially to this full moon as well. So with Lilith being there, that's like throwing a little bit of this like mischievous, manipulative kind of, this is like being able to go down those rabbit holes, but also just wanting to feel good in our five senses. This is like really just a part of us like might want to keep these toxic relationships, especially if the sex is amazing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when you have that really amazing sexual connection with someone, but that's all you have, and the rest of it's just fucking dysfunctional. That's what we have to worry about here for sure. Okay, because that good sex can be, that's like better than heroin, man. You know, like you get that amazing sex, you just lose yourself in it. It's amazing. Now, I believe that you can have that amazing kind of sex and have a healthy relationship. okay? But you have to really be tuned into yourself and love yourself at the same time too. And well, I believe it exists. I've never had it myself, clearly, because I'm still single. But the fact is that it's possible, okay? I choose to believe that it's possible. And, you know, someday maybe, you know, I'll find one that can match me on that frequency. But until then, I'm going to stay, you know, I'm going to stay doing my thing and staying true to myself. And when it feels right, it feels right. And that's really what you just have to remind yourself, that what feels right is right. Now, you have to know yourself with that because, okay, you know, when you inject heroin into you, that feels right, I'm sure, while you're in it, but that's clearly not healthy for you. So you have to know yourself and do the inner work for yourself to know what's healthy and right for you. Like, it feels right when you're eating good, high quality food that's right for your gut microbiome, and you're taking DNA custom specific supplements for your specific DNA, and your body's running right, and you're getting good sleep, and you're getting good workouts, and you feel clear and focused. That feels right and balanced. So we have to have a certain amount of discernment here, you know, as all this change and growth is taking place. So we're all, you know, collectively sort of, you know, building the plane while we're flying it, okay? And that can be difficult, but this change is happening very, very quickly, okay? So I want to read the inside degrees for this moon real quick at 18 degrees because it feels pretty significant. It says, a woman carefully counting the beans in a jar. That's exciting. Taking outward phenomena literally, the utmost in naivety. You wander into every trap and pitfall with eyes wide open, wanting so badly for everything to add up and make sense, lacking a strong center of selfhood. Impressionable to receive ideas and at the mercy of conditioning, wanting only to please and to make everybody happy. You are held within the circle of consensus agreement, behaving in such exemplary fashion that it is too good to be true. All is from the outside in. Lessons in outlasting what you take on and in showing up after being so far gone that nobody knew where to find you. So this speaks volumes to me in regards to what we're facing right now collectively, right? Like, we all just want the pieces to fit. We all want life to go back to normal, all right? Which it's not. Things are going to create a new normal. So we're all in this uncomfortable, like, you know, we don't know what to believe. We don't know who to look towards. We don't know what the fuck's going on. That's why we have to go within and really, really solidify this relationship with our own heart individually, because the heart, intuitively, that's connection to God. That's connection to source, the universe, right? And that is where all the answers lie. And this moon is saying, hey, if you want a clear connection to source, you have to have a clear connection to your heart. And all this toxicity that's in your reality, in your life, is blocking you from having this clear connection to your heart because it's feeding on your fear. It's feeding on your insecurity. It's feeding on all these things that are keeping you from connecting to your heart, okay? Like, we want to people please, make everybody happy. We just want everybody to get along, right? Well, we are working towards that, but right now that is not the way the shit is working. So we must take our power back by loving ourselves. And that is really the bottom line, okay? So I hope that you guys got some clarity from this, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. And please do me a favor and download my free ebook. I'm creating this opportunity community where people can gather. There's opportunity, there's financial opportunities there with Euphoria, which I speak about every Wednesday, and we have meetings every week, you know, to be vulnerable. And I have a 4-week coaching program. First 100 people are getting in that coaching program free. There's just a $4.99 subscription fee to get into the community, so that, you know, it's secure and we can all be vulnerable and air out our shit so that we can really get closer into our heart. And I'll be there to guide you every step of the way. And you connect with like-minded people. I have people from all over the world right now joining. It's so exciting. It's so beautiful. So click on the link in my Instagram page, or go ahead and go in the description box below, and I have it down there. And I'll put you on my mailing list, and we'll make this happen. I love you guys so very much. You know, embrace this vulnerability, embrace this feeling, and also tune in every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific for my weekly energy report on YouTube and Instagram. And I am now doing a every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific, a health and wealth podcast with my wealth coach and a dear friend of mine, Julie Murphy. And tune into that. We're answering questions and we're connecting with a lot of people. It's doing a lot of good and a lot of help for the community of the world, really. We want to raise consciousness, and I want to help as many people as I possibly can. And I love you guys for tuning in and checking this out and supporting me, supporting the mission. So let's do this together. Let's grow. Let's learn. And please leave a comment if you have any questions or information. I'd love to work with you. And you can also message me here or on Instagram at spiritual_bodybuilder if you'd like a reading. We can talk about that. And go check out my website, spiritualbodybuilder.com. All right. Love you guys. I'll talk to you on the next video.